Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host. How are you doing, Bless?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good this morning. We had a really good stream. We reacted to New Game Plus Expo.
Yeah, really it was fun. kind of a surprise. A lot of very Japanese games. Some were very fun to look at. Some were confusing. We definitely saw the most confusing trailer of all time, where it was pretty hype. It was like 10, not even 10 seconds. I would say 7 seconds of a like zoom in on this thing, and then it just cut and just ended. Nothing happened. No more further details. We'll have to wait for later, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those ones where I think I mentioned this during the stream that like it felt like they put in like a random game generator and just made a whole stream based off games that were made from a random game generator. And for the most part, like the games look cool, the games look awesome, worked. The games look fun, like it worked. Yeah, like by the time it finished, I was like, that was a really good time. Many of these games, but I had a blast watching the stream. I had a blast seeing these games.
Yeah, the one thing that I want to bring attention to is I love the last couple days we've been getting the like Japanese quirkiness that I've missed in video games for a while. It's been so much a little bit more Western influence when it comes to the press conferences as of late. But seeing Sakurai yesterday do his thing for the Smash Brothers presentation, and then seeing Suda51 poorly green screened in front of gameplay.
Oh my god, that is probably the worst.
Got to see the gameplay.
That was probably the worst instance of the work from home webcam situation I've seen so far on stream. Like, and I love like Suda51 is one of my favorite developers, but yeah, they had him at what, like 360p. He looked actually the way you look right now on stream, where it was all pixelated if you're watching the video version.
It really sucks. I hate that.
I'm gonna try to switch it back. I went to the south, and I'm gonna go to west. Ready?
Let's go back west.
Look, it looks so good for a second, and then you go back to shitty.
Yeah, that's just Discord. We can't really do anything about that. But let's talk about things that we can talk about. We do know about things like Microsoft shutting down Mixer, Facebook acquiring Ready at Dawn, and more. Because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live, right here on Twitch.tv/KindofFunnyGames. We bring you the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kind of Funny Games Daily. Every time I bang on the desk, I'm like, I keep remembering when Kevin was building the desk.
Can you stop? It's fine. Stand on the desk, Bless.
When I banged it this time, it was one of those things where I felt it shake more than usual. You know,
it didn't feel shake. You just keep sit on the damn desk. Just stand on it.
I'm not standing on this desk. First of all, I don't have that great of balance. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna like knock down my monitor, my new monitor that I'm using. I'm gonna knock down my laptop. I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna break my leg.
FYI, I like this shot.
If I injure myself during work from home, does that count the same as if I do it from work? Can I still sue Greg Miller? Because can that happen?
That is definitely how that works. Yeah.
Of course,
I'm gonna say no. You can't.
You can listen on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kind of Funny Games Daily. To be a part of the show, head to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping, thank you to our Patreon producers, Muhammad, Connor Nolan, and Blackjack. Today, we're brought to you by Purple Mattress, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 5 stories today.
I'm gonna say 6. Wes. I'm gonna hijack this real quick. There we go. Because there's like breaking stuff coming in right now that's all over the place. Everyone should just be aware right now. If you aren't on Twitter looking at like all the accusations going forward, like you should look at them, look at all of them. There is so many, especially right now. There's a lot of stuff coming out about IGN stuff, about Steve Butts and Tal Blevins. The thing that I want to talk about here in the context of Kind of Funny Games Daily is Mitch Dyer did a Twitter thread this morning. And some newsworthy things that I think that should be talked about here are Mitch Dyer tweeted, When I reported on Amy Hennig leaving Naughty Dog, Steve Butts and Tal Blevins forced gossip into the story. They heard it was a hostile takeover. We didn't want to publish it. I tried to take my name off the story. They would not allow me to do so. They forced an unproven claim onto IGN.com with my name on it against my will to protect their relationship with Sony. When Sony justifiably condemned our story, Steve and Tal were silent. They never went to bat for me for a second. To Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, who were caught in the crossfire of IGN's hostile, toxic leadership, I'm so sorry. I'm responsible for the anger, disgust, and disappointment you lived with then, and I'll never forgive myself for buckling beneath these manipulative monsters. These are the same guys who would later publish a story on IGN stating The Last Guardian's canceled. When we confronted them about publishing an unsubstantiated and hilariously bullshit story without consulting the news team, they said, you should have chased this. And then he goes on, and there's a lot of other accusations and stuff. But those things in particular, specifically the Naughty Dog stuff, that has been a story for years that has turned into a lot of negativity and rumors and assumptions about Naughty Dog and their structure and how things went down with Amy. And I know that that caused a lot of strife, and it is an oft referenced piece of evidence that people use against Naughty Dog, and there's so many different perspectives to this, and there's a lot going on. So again, pay attention right now. There's a lot happening, and you have to do your part in listening and trying to understand, the best steps forward. There's not much else to say after that.
And like to what you're saying too, like if you've been paying attention to social media and stuff over the weekend, right? Like it's been happening across multiple creative industries and artistic industries. People have been calling out folks who have been shitty, and also people in positions of power who have been shitty and who have abused that power, to either prey on women or prey on their employees, or to just be shitty in general. One, it's a shame to see. Two, it's a thing that it's not this isn't new, right? Like this is kind of analogous to, I feel like, conversations we were having a couple weeks ago about the protests and stuff, right? Like these aren't issues that are new. These are issues that have existed, for a while, and they're unacceptable. And so for the fact that people are coming out and being vocal and actually speaking their mind and actually calling out shitty people and making sure that those people are being held accountable for their actions, good on them. It sucks, man. Especially seeing the stuff come out from people who will either respect or people who we've been a fan of historically, right? Seeing those people kind of fall and not live up to those expectations you have for them. It's terrible. And so be a good person out there. Be a good person.
Be good, and again, pay attention and really take this time to listen and learn, and kind of just take it all in, because there's a lot, and it's really nasty, shady shit, and we need to not allow this to happen. There's systemic problems that we all need to kind of help each other out with and call out bullshit when we see it.
Let's call that story 0.5. Now let's get into story number 1. Microsoft is shutting down Mixer. This is Brendain Sinclair at gamesindustry.biz. Microsoft is pulling the plug on its video streaming service Mixer. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer announced the move today in a post on the official Xbox site, acknowledging that the service failed to grow as quickly as the company had hoped. Quote, ultimately, the success of partners and streamers on Mixer is dependent on our ability to scale the service for them as quickly and broadly as possible, Spencer said. He continued, it became clear that the time needed to grow our live streaming community to scale was out of measure with the vision and experiences we want to deliver to gamers now. So we've decided to close the operations side of Mixer and help the community transition to a new platform. To better serve our community's needs, we're teaming up with Facebook to enable the Mixer community to transition to Facebook gaming, end quote. Mixer will go dark on July 22nd, with all of its sites and apps then redirecting users to Facebook gaming. Mixer partners will be given partner status on Facebook gaming as well, and Microsoft said Facebook will match existing agreements streamers had with Mixer, quote, as closely as possible, end quote. That apparently doesn't include high-profile streamers that Microsoft has signed Mixer exclusivity deals with, like Tyler Ninja Blevins or Michael Shroud Grzek. I definitely mispronounced that, but I'm going to say Grzek because that's the best I can do. Facebook gaming head Vivek Sharma told The Verge that they'll be released from their contracts and can decide where they would like to stream next. Current Mixer Pro subscribers and recently active streamers in Mixer's open monetization program will each receive $15 in credit applied to the Microsoft accounts associated with their Mixer accounts. Tim, this is breaking yesterday right after KFGD. It's been a huge thing. What's been your take on this whole situation?
I mean, it's absolutely nuts. It's one of those things that is difficult to talk about on every specific level, because you need to look at it as a whole, as little granular bits, because these streaming platforms, so many of them came up at once, right? And that's just kind of how technology works. And Microsoft's entry into the fray was Mixer. And they really heavily invested, which is what you need to do in order to even have a chance to succeed when there's already such big fish like Twitter. And at the time, even YouTube kind of coming in and trying to get some of that live piece of the pie. And I think that with that, it's the risk reward. But there's definitely a lot of strategic moves that can leave you pretty high and dry. And I think that that's kind of what we saw here, because especially with all the huge name deals that they made, that's a lot of cash. That's a lot of money that just kind of is being invested. And if you're not seeing the results from that, then it's not sustainable. And the unfortunate thing is, this is where we get a little bit more granular, because that's the broad thing where it's like, it's easy to say, of course, this was going to fail, and like, especially in hindsight. But I think even with looking ahead, it was back then, it was like, all right, Mixer, what are you going to do? And they had the better platform in a lot of ways. They were offering a lot of great things, but it was built on the back of a lot of smaller creators and a lot of people that were enticed by the different offerings or the lower threshold of the barrier of entry to becoming partnered with Mixer as opposed to something like Twitch. And now all of a sudden they're in trouble. All of these thousands of creators are just out of nowhere yesterday told, hey, you're not going to have a place to stream, and we'll move you to Facebook Gaming. But like, that is such a contentious thing in and of itself already. Like, partnering with Facebook, I personally feel is the least ideal of these situations. Like, if it was YouTube or Twitch, I understand they would have never went with Twitch, but if it was YouTube or Twitch, I think at least that would have been some like a fair olive branch of, hey, this sucks, but we're trying our best to deal with this. With Facebook, it just kind of seems like, to me, Facebook is a lot of fake opportunity. There's so many views there, but they're not real. Like it's the equivalent of auto stuff. It's a lot of passive stuff. And Facebook is a jack of all trades, master of stealing your information at this point, where it's just like, it's not focused enough to be fully featured in the way that these streamers need it to be. So to get to the end of what I'm trying to say here is, like, I do think this was a very likely outcome for all of this. It's very unfortunate. And I think that the real story is how many people are going to be affected by this, based on promises that couldn't be kept. And I wonder how long ago people knew that it couldn't be kept.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. Is this feels very sudden. Like, this isn't, if you asked me years ago when Mixer started, when Beam started, do you think that at a certain point this shuts down because it fails? I would have been like, oh yeah, sure, I can very easily see that happening. But the fact that it's happening right now, and the fact that it's happening so sudden, and it feels very out of nowhere, it still feels shocking, especially from a company like Microsoft, who, Microsoft has money. Mixer is a thing that I'm sure was a loss factor for them, and I'm sure like they looked at that and they were like, hey, we can still support Mixer. We see a future in Mixer. We can see a way that we can flip this further down the line with everything else going on in Microsoft supporting this small business that, for all intents and purposes isn't making the return that we necessarily want it to make. I kind of saw it as like a kind of a passion project for them, and not necessarily a passion project in the sense that like we want to do Mixer, but in a passion project in the sense that like we can monetize this better later. So to see them kind of back off of it out of nowhere is a little bit shocking. And to what you're saying, right? Like, there's a lot of facets that go into this, right? Like, we can talk about how, like, the delivery of this information yesterday, where everybody kind of just found out at the same time, that's not necessarily ideal. You had a lot of partners that were kind of just blindsided by the fact that this service is shutting down, and this is how a lot of people were building their communities. This is how some people were making a living. Like, there's a lot that goes into how you deliver this information, and even with that, it felt very sudden. There are folks like, you know, in the article they mentioned Ninja, who I guess isn't going to renew his deal, which he shouldn't, with Facebook.
Clean, dude. Like, can you imagine?
Could you imagine
being him? If you're Ninja right now, you signed a what was it, $30 million deal,
something like that? Yeah.
If I remember correctly,
getting the full payout.
$30 million for 3 years, and you get it in 1 year, and you get to go clean, and you get to go do another deal with whoever you want. That is utterly insane, man. Like, that's what happens when bad deals are made. And like, honestly, like, he's getting the money. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, I couldn't imagine.
Is that confirmed that he's gonna get the money?
That's been what's been reported, yeah, that they're giving the full payout, which, if you think about it, right, like, think about it this way. You're Ninja, you sign that 3-year deal for, let's say, $30 million, and you're moving over to Mixer, which is a platform that you don't yet have your audience in yet. Like, you're going to move to Mixer and not have as big of an audience. But you imagine that, like, a lot of your audience is going to have that crossover or whatever, but either way, you're going to be making less money from that audience. But the idea is, hey, Microsoft is paying me what I would have made anyway with 3 years on Twitch, and so, you know, I'll move over to Mixer. I'll take that lump sum, and then, you know, I'll build from there. Now you have that lump sum after a year, and now if you want, you can go back to Twitch and just continue streaming and make twice as much money.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
It's insane, and you know, like, there's that the big side, but to look back at the smaller streamers, the advice that I would want to give to them is, take this as a lesson, and I'm saying this even to the people that aren't affected by it, by Mixer, the people that want to start creating and stuff. Do not allow all of your sources of revenue to be from one place. Do not allow a situation that if someone takes a platform and one day just decides it doesn't exist, that you are left in a place of disarray. Like, you need to be able to, you know, just spread your content in multiple places, and that's why I think that having the YouTube and live strategy works so well for people, where you have VOD on YouTube, and you either use Twitch or Mixer or whatever, your choice of streaming service, and wherever you can get the best deals for you, right? Like, Facebook Gaming is consistently, for all the things that they lack, they are offering a lot more money to a lot smaller creators. And that's something that I really do want to commend them for, because usually with Mixer, they're only paying the big dogs. You know, they're not like going to these small, tiny creators. And I will say, in defense of Mixer, like, we have had nothing but great conversations with them. Nothing ever came to fruition. Kind of funny, and Mixer never really did anything. But I did have multiple conversations over the last couple of years about trying to get something to happen. And their entire platform was, hey, we want you to be able to stream anywhere. Like, we do not want Kind of Funny to be exclusive here. We want it to be in as many places as possible. And it's Twitch that won't allow us to do that because of the way that their contracts work. And that's totally fair if they want to do that. I hate it. I wish that wasn't the case. But that's our choice to sign with them. But my point is, like, Mixer did really care. And this sucks, because it's not like there was a group of people there that were just money hungry trying to make this work. Those people exist. Those people were there for sure. But there was also a ton of people that worked at Mixer that are now out of a job, that really were passionate about this product. Like, I talked to multiple people during the times of them trying to make the deals, and they were trying to sell Mixer to me, and it didn't feel like a sales pitch. It felt like I'm so excited to tell you about what we're doing. It's so freaking cool. And like, it reminds me of the way we kind of talk to each other, like when we're playing a video game that we love, or like when we're working on something where it's like, oh man, I'm just so excited to talk about this. And it's like, those people are out of a job now. Those people, platform that they've built, and the streamers that have been using that platform no longer exists. So our best wishes to them, and just really, really, really don't allow yourself to get taken down by one fell swoop, because these things can happen anywhere.
Eamon in DC writes in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, just like you can, and says, hey, Blessing and Tim, with the news of Microsoft dropping its support for Mixer and pivoting towards a partnership with Facebook Gaming, I can't help but to think this was an inevitable outcome. Mixer has vastly underperformed relative to its competitors in the streaming marketplace, and its effort to bring in new creators like Ninja and Shroud have clearly failed to move the needle in any notable way. Meanwhile, Facebook Gaming saw a 210% increase in hours watched between December 2018 and December 2019, according to streaming software company Stream Elements. With Xbox attempting to bring Project xCloud to market in the next 1 to 2 years, Microsoft has likely made the wise move to partner with a company that can bring its services to scale that Mixer never could. Facebook and Instagram each have 1 billion plus monthly active users, and paired with Phil Spencer's envisioned click-to-play functionality for xCloud, similar to what Stadia showcased in their reveal. We may see Xbox titles in the hands of more gamers than ever. What do you think are the long-term implications of an Xbox-Facebook partnership? Should gamers expect PlayStation to find a similar partner to make PS Now more competitive? If so, who? YouTube with Stadia and Twitch with Amazon's rumored streaming platform appear to be off the table. And could we see Oculus support on the Series X? There's a lot there, but for you, what are the long-term implications of a Facebook-Microsoft partnership, Tim?
We'll have to see. I mean, like, Facebook is, like I was saying earlier, it's absolutely huge. The install base there is insane, and they are committing. They are dedicating to having a live streaming service and video that is essentially constantly going. Where you go to find it and how you go to actively search out creators and things that you're looking for, I don't know. And I don't think many people do know. And that's the problem of kind of setting up shop there, because it's not a great place for an actual community and growth when it comes to your streaming. But the 210% increase, like that, I'm not surprised by that, but I don't think that should be an incentive to people to go over there. And I think that the partnership is, at the end of the day, I think the partnership does come from a good place of the people at Discord trying to find a new home for the people that are no longer going to be able to use the service. Sorry. Yes. Did I say Discord?
Yeah.
My bad. Mixer. Yeah. Are going to be, are trying to find them a new home. And that's valiant and that's good. Facebook doesn't seem to be the best place, but it's the place that they're going. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to be fruitful for many people. But I do think that there's money there, and I've seen it. There's people that are getting paid good amounts of money to do the thing that they love to do, and that's an area of opportunity that I haven't seen in the Twitch sphere or the Mixer sphere or the YouTube sphere even.
Yeah, I could see something being there as far as say you're a user on Facebook and you're scrolling through and you see like a Facebook gaming stream pop up or whatever, and like I can see the argument that, hey, yeah, you see that stream, and via this partnership with Microsoft and Facebook, right? Like you see this person playing, let's say Apex Legends, for example. You know, you click the stream and there's a straight up button that says, hey, launch right now, you know, through xCloud. I can see the argument that, you know, that could be fruitful for Microsoft and Xbox. I don't know how fruitful that is. Like, I think that could be like a good, like maybe like a side way to get people into the platform. But I think with the way that people use Facebook and the way that stuff is so, like we were saying earlier, right? Like so passive, and like a lot of those numbers are pretty autoplay based as far as Facebook goes. Like I don't know how much those numbers actually translate.
I mean,
like tons of eyes, but the actual like engagement, I think, is where things start to flounder.
Dude, real talk. I'll never forget when we were back at IGN and I was working on the video team, but also doing like sales sponsored branded integration content. Like I remember making a pitch to the guys where I was just like, look, all they want is numbers, and we're adding our numbers on IGN, we're adding our numbers on YouTube. Facebook have ridiculous numbers. They're not real, but they're numbers, and that's all that they're asking for. And I remember making pitches, and we'd make sales to advertisers based on that. And it was like, I remember having honest conversations with some of our sales at like the clients, and just being like, I'm telling you guys, like, these aren't real numbers. And they're like, we don't care. Like, we just want that number. And it's just like, that's crazy. So mind-blowingly stupid to me, but like that's just the case. Facebook just gets those numbers because of what do they count as a view? Do they count a view as when you're scrolling on your feed and you don't even hear it, you don't even see a second of it, but it's on your page, it's an impression, like all that stuff, like it matters and it counts. And you know, in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of shifting of, you know, more regulation for it, but Facebook is still leagues behind doing that stuff properly, because it's entirely created to be its own ecosystem that makes itself a shit ton of money based on ads, and it's going to keep continuing to do that.
Tim, let's continue talking about big business. Story number 2. We have an idea of the 7 EA games coming to Switch over the next year. This is from Jeffy Grubb Grubb at VentureBeat. During the EA Play media presentation last week, Electronic Arts revealed that it's increasing support for the Nintendo Switch. This comes years after fans asking Electronic Arts for more games on the popular home console / handheld hybrid. Quote, "You can expect 7 new games coming to Switch from EA in the next 12 months. That includes Burnout Paradise coming June 19th and Apex Legends later this year," said Respawn social media boss Alex Ackerman. In addition to Burnout and Apex Legends, EA confirmed that FIFA 21 and Lost in Random are both headed to Switch. So that gives you 4 out of 7. So while EA has publicly confirmed the first 4 of the 7 Switch games, I've gathered, and this is Jeffy Grubb Grubb talking, I've gathered up the other 3 from a source familiar with the publisher's release slate. One of the games is another EA original. This one is from Velen Studios, which EA signed a deal with last year. Velen appeared in a sizzle reel during EA Play as part of a teaser of the company's indie publishing efforts. Then EA is going back to the racing game remasters as a follow-up to Burnout Paradise Remastered. The publisher is next going to update 2010's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Like Burnout, and that's actually kind of strange thinking about it, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Like Burnout, that game will also come to Switch in addition to PC and other consoles. Finally, EA is going to port its latest Plants vs. Zombie games to Switch. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville should hit the Nintendo Switch at some point in the next year. So here's the full list of 7 EA games hitting Nintendo Switch this year. And this is over, and I think this is like this fiscal year. And so this is 2020, 2021. Burnout Paradise, FIFA 21, Apex Legends, Lost in Random, Velen Studios, their game, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. Tim, how do you feel about all this?
A couple things I want to say. First off, I do want to shout out Jeff Grubb. Big fan. And I love him because I feel like he's just come to prominence in the last year or so. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate him because he breaks stories, he does some investigation, he gets some answers, but he has a voice. When you read this stuff, it doesn't just feel like traditional kind of like, here are the facts. It's like, I like that there's always like some, like there's humor in it. Anyway, Jeff, yeah. I appreciate you very much.
Jeff loves to have fun.
Next up, EA, Switch. There was no support. And now, all of a sudden, there's some support. It's good to see. Apex Legends, I think, is kind of the standout here. And it does feel a little bit, better late than never in some senses, where the Switch has been out now years, and like that, the gold mine of just putting something on there and having it succeed is kind of gone. But I'm pretty interested that EA finally is supporting the Switch after its commitment to the Wii U, and we all saw how that went. So it's interesting. And this list of games, it does tell a story. And I think it's telling a story of them trying to make the right calls for the platform and not trying to overstep their bounds too much. Like, these are games that potentially could really succeed on the platform.
Yes.
Then the third thing I want to say is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. All right, but where's Underground though, baby? Give me an Underground remaster.
It's just, for me, it's the fact that they're making a remaster of the remake of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Like, this is 2010's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which I guess, like, it's not really a remake, it's more of a reboot if anything.
Yeah.
But still, like, what a crazy series of events. I'm definitely down to see how that goes, because I feel like Need for Speed needs some revitalization, and that Hot Pursuit game was pretty all right. Like, it wasn't, I don't think it was the greatest game, but it was decent. Like, it wasn't bad compared to like Payback, and some of this generation's Need for Speed games. But I think you're right to the point that these games tell a story. You look at Burnout Paradise, and that is a remaster of a previous gen title. That is something that you imagine would work well on Switch. And for me, as somebody who's been playing it, it is fantastic on Switch. I'm having a blast with Burnout Paradise on Switch. So much so that I actually did boot up my PlayStation 4 version of Burnout Paradise, because I'm further in that one. And been jumping in and just having a great time with it. And so, like, that makes sense. FIFA is, of course, FIFA, and that game just has a wide appeal. And so you imagine, or you would hope, that they actually take FIFA and they actually like make a version of the game that is satisfactory, because I think I've heard about earlier versions of FIFA on the Switch that just didn't live up. And so, you would hope that like they're trying to make a return to form there. Apex Legends is like one of the biggest EA games right now, right? Like one of their biggest successes right now. That makes sense on the Switch. Lost in Random and Velen Studios games, those are both smaller titles. Those are both EA originals. Those are both games that are, you know, made for EA to kind of expand that catalog and have some personality in there. And that those both make sense on Switch. Like
those are the type of games too that need as much chance to succeed and sell as possible. Like the more platforms it can be on, that's just going to be good for them, for the devs, and for the gamers. Hopefully, at the end of the day, if they're great games.
And you would imagine that as far as consoles go, right? Like the Switch is where those games are going to shine the most, and so those make sense. And yeah, like I like that they're upping their output. This list of games I think is a good start, and I'm curious to see like what this looks like in the future for EA.
Willing things into existence, though. Need for Speed Underground remake from the underground up.
Whoa,
you heard
I like it.
First.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Speaking of things I like a lot, story number 3, Ghost of Tsushima has gone gold, and we have an ESRB description. This is Cian Maher at VG247. The ESRB rating concludes that Ghost of Tsushima is an M-rated game, meaning it's been marked as mature. Quote, players use samurai swords, poison darts, and bows to battle enemies in melee-style combat, reads the ESRB description. Some attacks result in dismemberment and or decapitation of enemy soldiers, often accompanied by large blood splatter effects. Players can also perform assassination kills, e.g. neck stabbing, sword impalement, to dispatch enemies quietly. Cutscenes depict additional acts of intense violence. A soldier lit on fire and beheaded, bound civilians lit on fire and burned at the stake, and decapitated man's head held up towards the screen. The game also depicts a man's exposed buttocks. That's right, a man's exposed buttocks as he bathes in a hot spring. Tim, does that have you excited?
All of this has me excited, man. Look, it's going gold. You know what that means? Eventually, very soon, we're going to be able to play this game. I need it in my life. Last of Us out of the way. I'm in a gaming renaissance right now where I feel like, you know, there was a ton of games in March, and then there was just kind of a little bit of a lull, you know? Like we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then it was just kind of like, it's been chill. And then boom, Last of Us kind of took everything over. I still feel like the conversation for the next week or so is going to be all about Last of Us. But then Ghost is right there. How exciting is it that we're getting 2 PlayStation first-party titles this close together? And especially
we're getting 3 with Iron Man VR.
Oh, and Iron Man VR. Yeah, man. Very exciting stuff. But it's cool. We're less than a month away from Ghost. Like, that's so exciting. Like a new IP. Like, let's go. Can't wait.
My excitement level for Ghost of Tsushima is like way off the charts. Like even before The Last of Us Part 2, I was looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima even more. Not because like I think it's gonna be a better game than The Last of Us or anything like that, but just because it's something that's refreshing and something that's different and something that looks really cool. And as an open world, like I'm ready to get lost in it. And so I cannot wait. It is an unknown quantity, right? And that I cannot wait to see how this game lives up. Story number 4. Facebook has acquired Ready at Dawn. This is Brendain Sinclair at gamesindustry.biz. Facebook continues to add VR developers to its stable of Oculus studios, as the company today announced the acquisition of Ready at Dawn Studios. Quote, having shipped titles to multiple platforms in the past, Ready at Dawn is a veteran game developer with some serious chops as well as a VR pioneer. Facebook VP of AR/VR content Mike Verdu said in a blog post announcing the acquisition. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. Everyone from Ready at Dawn is joining the Oculus team, and the studio will continue to operate out of its 2 offices in Irvine, California, and Portland, Oregon. Founded by former Blizzard Entertainment and Naughty Dog developers in 2003, Ready at Dawn built its reputation making PSP installments of prominent Sony franchises like Daxter and God of War: Chains of Olympus. It also made the early PS4 exclusive, The Order 1886, and in recent years has focused on VR, producing 3 entries in its Lone Echo franchise for Oculus. A 4th game in the series, Lone Echo 2, is currently in development. Ready at Dawn is the 3rd developer Facebook has acquired for Oculus in the past year. This is exciting stuff. Like I have kind of like a bittersweet reaction to it, because as somebody who loves PlayStation and PlayStation VR, but also as somebody who has played Echo Arena, like it's a bummer to see that Sony didn't jump on the chance to acquire Ready at Dawn, or like I'm sure maybe those conversations happened, but whatever it was, like that partnership just didn't happen. Like seeing Ready at Dawn get scooped up by Facebook and Oculus, and knowing now for sure that the Order 1886 now, or the Order 1886 2, Order 1887 now has way less of a chance of being made, but also
Totally.
like, the fact that Ready at Dawn games aren't even going to be coming to PSVR, as far as we know and understand. Maybe they could still, but who knows? That strikes me as a little bit of a bummer. But good for them for getting acquired. Like the Echo games are cool. And this all kind of makes sense given the last about 3 or 4 years for Ready at Dawn.
Totally. And the focus on VR, I think, has changed a lot in the last couple of years, where there was that race of everyone has to do it. And now it's kind of like, okay, cool. The dust is settled a little bit, and there are kind of there's a bit more defined lanes in terms of what VR is and what VR can be. And I think we really saw with like Half-Life Alyx coming out, like, okay, cool. VR has now cemented itself in this category of real games. It's not just like experiences. And that's been happening over the course of the last 4 years. So at this point now where it is good to see Facebook and Oculus committing to having a game division and to having teams that are talented work on VR titles to keep continuing pushing the medium forward. And I love to see it as well on the PSVR side. We were just talking about Iron Man. It's like I'm happy that titles of that magnitude are a priority still, because VR could very much have been flash in the pan, gone, and we wouldn't have stories like this.
Yeah, it's still chugging, which is, I think, the great thing. And Tim, a question I have for you, actually, speaking of what you just said, what do you think are the legs for VR for the future? Does VR become a staple forever? Do we get 5 more years of this hype, and does it dissipate? Like, where are you at in terms of where you think the future of VR goes?
I think that it's going to be around forever. And I think that just at some point it's going to just merge back into core gaming. But I think that that's pretty damn far away from where we're at now. But I think that if it were to have went away, it would have went away already. This isn't like 3D games when PlayStation focused on it one press conference, and then there was a year of games that had an ugly 3D sticker on the box, and now that'll never be a thing again.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
But VR is like, it's different. It's a tech that's pushing things forward. Something that excites me a lot is audio and the surround experience, and seeing Xbox kind of go down with this the Dolby Atmos route, which is very exciting, and then PlayStation focusing so much of the PS5 conversation on this 3D audio idea. I've never used the Platinum headset from Sony, but it has 3D audio, and there's all the profiles for the different games. I ordered one this week because I was like, I fucked up not having it for Last of Us, and I'm like, for Ghost of Tsushima, like if there's a profile for that, I want to check it out because I love that stuff. And I think that VR has really pushed that technology forward to be able to have 3D spatial sound matter, and that translates back to traditional games. So it's like, I think that VR gaming is very important for traditional gaming as well. And I think that they were kind of working hand in hand in pushing each other forward. But I do think at some point they will merge, but I don't see it going away.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I can see that too. Like, in a way, VR reminds me of a better version of motion controls and what the motion control craze was. Like, because that was the thing that lasted, partly because the Wii was a console that's based around motion controls, and so that was going to last that length of time regardless. But even like we had Kinect kind of come and go, and we had PlayStation Move kind of come and go, but like they never really fully went. Like, motion controls still live in a lot of ways, especially on the Switch, of course, because of the gyro motion. But even in PlayStation, right? Like, you'll have games that you'll have specifically like PlayStation first party games, but you'll have some games that find clever ways to make use of the motion controls, right? Like in Last of Us, we have just like the flashlight thing.
The flashlight, and it's
shake
just here's both of us just fucking shaking it.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, for reals though, it's like that little moment. It's a gimmick, but it's a evidence of a gimmick working. Like, here you are playing this 30-hour experience, and how many times did you shake the flashlight in Last of Us 2?
I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 times.
I'd say 3. And it's like, cool. Like it's so perfectly executed where it's not like this annoying thing of like, oh, I gotta do this. It's a nice feature that immerses you, and that goes into the VR stuff. That like I agree with you that VR is kind of motion gaming epitomized and done correctly.
Yeah, like it's done in a way that's just more exciting to me. Like, that's the thing. I think compared to motion controls, I don't know how you implement VR into standard gaming in a way that makes it make sense. Like VR, I think VR is still gonna have to exist to some extent, like side by side in a way. But like right now, I'm for the most part, and let me not even say, I guess I could say for the most part, like for the most part, more excited about the VR games that are coming out, more so than I was about the motion control games that are coming out during the apex of that. And part of that is like motion control is also integrated into VR in a very heavy way, and so like they're kind of 1-in-1, but still games like Beat Saber, games like Iron Man VR coming out soon, but also like Super Hot VR and Pistol Whip, and like there's a lot of VR games that can
Star Wars Squadrons.
Star Wars Squadron is gonna be right? VR, and I know people like Vader Immortal, and I haven't tried it yet. I have it on my Oculus Quest, and I'm like I'm kind of waiting on it to come to PSVR so I can talk about it on PS Lovey, but we'll see. But there are just so many games that are being tailor made for VR that are just very exciting in a way that with motion controls, like only Nintendo were the ones that were making exciting games for motion controls. Even that like had a limit, right? Like when I think of the exciting motion control games, it's like Wii Sports and
Dance Central was a moment, man.
Dance Central for sure, yeah. But like I feel like it's way more limited
things. Yeah. Oh, totally.
And I guess like I will say that the most popular motion control games are more popular than the most popular VR games, if I had to make that blanket statement. But
I mean, that makes sense. That's install base. Right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Especially with Xbox forcing the Kinect on everyone. Like everyone had one that bought an Xbox. So
yeah, and so I'm excited about what the future of VR is. I don't think VR is going to disappear at any point. But yeah, I'm just curious to see, like, does PlayStation keep supporting PSVR? Does Oculus VR like gain even more mainstream success? Right? Like, what does that look like? Or does it remain this very niche thing that, I don't know, maybe grows outside of games, because like games aren't the thing that can sustain it by itself, if that makes sense. We'll see. We shall see. Story number 5 is our last news story for the day. Marvel's Avengers has been confirmed as a free upgrade to PS5. This is Jordan Sirani at IGN who writes, Marvel's Avengers is officially coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X when the consoles launch this holiday. Those who purchase the game for PS4 and Xbox One, either physically or digitally, will be able to upgrade to the respective next-gen version free of charge. Square Enix has also announced Avengers will support cross-generation play between PlayStation and Xbox consoles, meaning PS5 owners can play with PS4, Xbox Series X, or PS5 owners can play with PS4, and Xbox Series X owners can play with Xbox One. Players will also be able to transfer saves between current and next-gen consoles. The PS5 version will offer both an enhanced graphics mode and a high frame rate mode. The latter targets 60 FPS with dynamic 4K resolution. Gary Snethen, CTO at developer Crystal Dynamics, noted PS5's ultra-fast SSD will make for nearly instant load times in Avengers. Quote,
fuck yeah, man.
And as Iron Man flies through content-rich levels, higher resolution textures and mesh will stream in instantly, maintaining the highest possible quality at all the way to the horizon, he added. Avengers will also take advantage of the DualSense controller's haptic feedback and resistance triggers, as well as PS5's 3D audio capabilities. The announcement comes as Sony has yet to announce an official plan for next-gen upgrades. Microsoft has established its own policy with Smart Delivery. In lieu of an official policy, some publishers are taking it upon themselves to offer those upgrades for free, including CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077, EA with FIFA and Madden 21, and now Square with Avengers. Tim, how do you feel about all this?
All this is great news. I'm so excited for next gen. Like, I love that they're saying that 4K 60 for this thing is what they're targeting, and near instant load times. Awesome. I just love that next gen is just going to make our current games this much better. And all the stuff here is like what we would have dreamed of 5 years ago. Crossplay between all the things, buy it once and get the upgrade. Awesome. PlayStation 4 gamers being able to play with Xbox Series X gamers, that's fantastic. Like that's the world we want to live in, especially for games like this that are games as a service.
Well, to clarify, because actually I had to read this like multiple times, and it's literally this last time that I actually like read it correctly, because it seems like PS5 owners won't be able to play with Xbox One and like vice versa, or like there's not necessarily cross play, it's just cross generation, and so PS5 can play with PS4, Xbox Series X can play with Xbox One, which I don't know how I feel about. Like I don't know why there isn't just like a
whoa. No. Wait.
The way it's written is weird.
It is, because the comma.
Yeah, the comma is in a very, very weird place. The way it's
PS5
written,
owners can play with PS4, Xbox Series X. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, right. It's written very, very weirdly.
We'll support cross-generation play between. Okay. Then I take back what I said. This isn't perfect.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's like that's one detail, but yeah, it is kind of a weird one because I don't understand why that wouldn't be the case. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just go all the way and allow for crossplay to happen, especially because it's becoming more and more of a standard. Is a weird word because I don't know if most games are doing this, but
no, it's
more and more of the big games
the standard,
are doing
man.
it.
It has to be the standard. We need to stick with that. We need to say it. We need to put that out into the world, and then it will happen. And I think that already it's starting to. And like there's signs of it all kind of happening here. I love that, like, even though Sony hasn't talked about whatever its smart delivery system is, it's already happened with the third parties. Cyberpunk and Avengers are the biggest third party games of note. I think that are in that early phase. Assassin's Creed would be the final one that we would need to hear about. But yeah, otherwise it's like, I will say this is kind of a bummer. Cross-gen is awesome, but cross-play is key for this type of thing, and especially for games as a service. And I think that I'm very excited to see Avengers. Is it tomorrow we get to see more? I don't remember what day it is now. It's Thursday.
Someday this week.
Yeah, we see it on Thursday. Today's Tuesday, so
tomorrow's
days.
Tomorrow's the Pokemon thing, right? Happening at 6 a.m.
Oh wait, no, it's Wednesday. It's tomorrow. Yeah. We're gonna see more Avengers tomorrow.
God, so much is happening this week.
I know. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
By the way, Bless and I will be doing live reactions to the Avengers War Chest thing and to the Pokemon Presents.
Yeah, man.
6 a.m.
Early morning.
Very early morning. Yeah.
It's super hype.
Go toe, baby. Anyways, I hope that they change this.
Tim, I want to talk about the games that are coming to Mom and Drop Shops today, but before I do, let me tell you about our sponsor. This episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by Purple Mattress. Technology has improved just about everything. Phones, cars, shopping, yet mattresses have more or less been the same since the invention of sleep. But we deserve better. And finally, the mattress has evolved thanks to Purple. The secret to Purple is the Purple Grid. It's patented comfort technology that instantly adapts to your body's natural shape and sleep style. Purple is for every body, no matter how you sleep. Purple is designed with over 2,800 open air channels and naturally temperature neutral gel. You'll never sleep too hot or too cold. The Purple mattress is soft where you want it, firm where you need it, and comfortably cool all over. It's truly a mattress that does it all. Kind of Funny loves Purple mattress. Tim, you like to use Purple products. How do you feel about them? Do you like them?
Oh my God. The pillow is the best pillow I've ever used. There's this technology that it has that makes it so it never gets hot. It never even gets warm. It's a perfectly cool pillow. I need that so much. It's sturdy. I'm a 2-pillow guy. My entire life, I've been a 2-pillow guy. I'm a 1-pillow guy now. This thing is exactly where I need it to be. Dude, yeah, Kev. It's a big deal.
What size is the pillow? Because this is important for me because I sleep a weird way.
I mean, it's a good pillow, man.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. You sleep a weird way?
So like the way
maybe you don't have the right pillow. You need to get yourself one of these pillows.
So like, hold up. So like, I like to like, you know how.
Oh, bless that pillow is.
I sleep with my pillow.
That pillow's done, dude. Like you've been sleeping on that bad boy too long.
I've only had this pillow like 7 months. Is that too long for a pillow?
Honestly, though, I feel like you should go to purple.com/games and use promo code games for $150 off any mattress order of $1,500 or more.
Dude, I might do that. I might do that.
Check out those pillows because I'm telling you, the pillows are just fantastic. Again, go to purple.com/games and use promo code games for a limited time. You get $150 off any Purple mattress order of $1,500 or more. Oh man, shout out to that ultra durable Purple Grid, man. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Tim, I'm really excited to see what other games upgrade to PS5 from PS4 and do the same smart delivery thing, but it's not smart delivery because everything's confusing and nothing makes sense. But that is so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom and pop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, we got SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, which we talk a lot about on PS Love You XOXO, which is out this morning. And so listen to that if you want our full impressions. Barrett is on there too, talking about how he feels about the game. Overall, not great. Not a great remaster or remake.
Also, well, no, it sounds like the remake was great. The game's not great to begin with, but you can also go check out a first impressions video that Barrett made.
Oh yeah,
there's a video on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, and there's also a audio version on our first impressions feed. Search for Kind of Funny First Impressions on your favorite podcast service, and it'll be there. It might be the Jared Petty face from Debatable as the album art. For some reason, that's not changing. But hey, one day maybe it'll change.
That's perfect. Also out today, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for PS4 and Switch, which I actually literally just installed.
Oh my God, I'm about to get it. Let's go.
Man. Assetto Corsa Competizione for PS4 and Xbox One, Tower of Time for PS4, Pokemon Cafe Mix for Switch, iOS, and Android, which I might actually have to download because I'm actually that was actually speaking to me a little bit during the Pokemon Presents thing. Little Town Hero for PS4, which that's the Game Freak game, if I remember that correctly. The little RPG they put out last year. Octonaut for PS4, Ultra Core for PS4 and Switch, Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour for Switch, A Summer with the Shiba Inu for PS4, Conjurer, Andy's Repeatable Dungeon for Switch, High Score Boy for PC, Beaver Fun River Run for Steam. Hold on, let me say that again. Beaver Fun River Run Steam Edition for PC, Escape from Cosmic Abyss for PC, Card Hog for PC, The Innsmouth Curse for PC and Mac, Viking Chronicles Tale of the Lost Queen for PC, Share Care U for PC, and then Billion Road is available now for Steam and Switch, and then Danganronpa is available now for mobile. New dates.
Billion Road. If you want to see our reaction to Billion Road, check out the VOD on Twitch of our reaction to
twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Today's New Game Plus Expo, which I'm actually going to talk about a lot because we have a lot of new dates.
Let me start this one off. I actually added one for us that I got a PR email for during the show. With the launch of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 on September 4th, 2020, the legacy continues with some of the most prominent is what they meant to say, not preeminent, pro skaters in the world today. Nia Houston, Leo Baker, Letitia Buffani, Aora Nishimura, Lizzie Armanto, Shane O'Neill, Riley Hawk, and Tyshawn Jones are all joining the lineup of OG skaters in the remaster. So that's cool. So we're getting some new content. We're getting some new faces. They made the decision to, in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remake 1 and 2, to have all the skaters from those two games, but aged up. So like they're like,
they're
middle-aged skaters.
Awesome.
Yeah,
they're in their 40s and 50s.
Now we have all the young guys coming in here, so that's pretty cool. But the big news, and the reason I'm putting this here, is the people that pre-order the game digitally will get access to the warehouse demo starting on August 14th. Whoa. So that's like a month ahead of the release, or a couple weeks at least. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Very exciting. Earth Defense Force 6 has been announced for 2021, and then the rest of these I'm going to do. These are all from New Game Plus Expo. Harvest Moon One World is launching this fall on PS4 and Switch. Tin and Kuna is coming to all platforms this fall. Fight Crab is coming to Steam on July 30. Samurai Showdown is adding the Warden character in a crossover with For Honor that is available June 24th. ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, is coming to PS4, Switch, and Steam this winter. Fallen Legion Revenants is coming early 2021 to PS4 and Switch. Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection is coming to Switch this summer. Trails of Cold Steel 4 is coming to PS4 on October 27th and to other platforms, PC and Switch, in 2021. Death End Request 2 is coming August 25th to PS4 and Steam. Cafe Enchante is launching this November on Switch, which I'm actually a little bit excited for. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 has been announced and is coming soon to all platforms. Fairy Tail is available July 31st on PC, PS4, and Switch. Samurai Showdown Neo Geo Collection is available July 28th on PS4 and Switch. And then lastly, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox is coming 2021 to PC, PS4, and Switch. Tim. Listeners can write in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where they can get the show ad-free and get their questions answered, just like Zig, who did just that and says, "What's crashing? It's about time we finally got a brand new Crash game. My question is, if this game holds up from the previous games, will we want a new game from Crash or go back to remake some classics like Wrath of Cortex or Twinsanity? As always, stay safe." Tim, we're getting Crash 4 soon. We're getting Crash 4 this year.
And it looks fantastic.
If this game comes out and it blows us all away, what do you think is the next step for Crash? Do we go back and remake some more, or do we make Crash 5?
There's no chance this game blows people away. It's going to be more Crash, and I legitimately think this game has a chance at being the best platformer Crash game we've ever gotten. Like this team, I believe in them. They are true fans of the originals, and I think that the original games, all while nostalgic and have a lot of quality to them, do have a lot of kind of things about them. I think this is a fresh opportunity for them to only focus on the good stuff, fix some of the problems, which I think even in the trailer we saw a commitment to not having gimmicks that are for gimmick's sake, but to actually enhance the gameplay and to not last too long. Being more of a power-up system as opposed to level system, I think is very smart. The levels seem a bit more wider. All of that, I think this is good. I think that if this game is as good as I hope it's going to be, that we then get a sequel to that game and you keep going that direction. Wrath of Cortex is not a classic. Like, Wrath of Cortex is a game that came out. We do not need a remake of it. It wasn't good then. It's not good now. I mean, it's just facts. It's just facts.
So. This might upset you. I think Wrath of Cortex might have been the first Crash game I played, and the only one that I played all the way through.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it was not a game. It was the most money grab move made so far. Not made by Naughty Dog. Like, did not have the core DNA of like what makes Crash games special. And the biggest problem was it was a next gen title being on PlayStation 2. It was Crash's debut on next gen, and that was at a time that we were seeing Jak and Daxter, and it's like you couldn't compare those two. And then Twinsanity, good game. I stand by that. It is not horrible. It is definitely the best Crash game to happen outside of the originals. Having said that, a remake's not going to help it. I think it'll expose the flaws more than it exposes greatness, similar to SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrate.
Tim, now it's time to squad up. Grayling Thibodeaux writes in with a squad up on Xbox and says, "Hey guys, I've been getting deep into No Man's Sky since it's on Game Pass /crossplay. Come on down and visit the Milk Mommy system and explore the planet Greg Sucks. Maybe we'll make a No Man's Sky KF colony."
God.
My friend code is MQ44 TCSE E6252, and that'll be in the description for this episode. You can also add Grayling on Xbox with the username MS98paint. So MS98paint. Now it's time for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong. Nailaball just writes in and says, "Reminder, Sony partnered with Microsoft for cloud service support on May 19, 2019, and we haven't seen any fruits from that partnership yet." So there you go. I'm not sure. I guess that's just more context for the Facebook conversation. Let's see. Azo writes in and says, "The Avengers live stream is called War Table, as that is what the main player will use during the game's campaign plantain." Nailball also says, regarding replacing pillows, a general rule of thumb is to replace your pillows once every 1 to 2 years. But I don't know, man. If this purple pillow is great,
thin. It just looks like you've flattened it. But maybe you started with a thin pillow.
I got this pillow in like November.
Did you start? Was it a thin pillow and you got it? Is that what you look for?
No, it was pretty like thick and fluffy.
Well, what are you shaking your face at?
I'm happy I learned a word today. Preeminent. Thank you, Finn.
Just learned the word preeminent.
Preeminent, having paramount rank, dignity, or importance, outstanding, supreme. Did you know preeminent, Kev?
Wait, what is it when you attack first just in case?
I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you so goddamn much, you son of a bitch.
I'm like Googling now, like preeminent.
Right.
Because
Wait, come on. What is it when what do you hate me for?
I literally okay, just so you know the chain of events that just happened, Kev. I said I learned a word, preeminent. I then read the definition of the word.
Yeah.
And then you said, you don't know preeminent? And I said, you know it? And then you go, yeah. And then you say the wrong definition.
So as it turns out, I was thinking preemptive.
Yes, you were.
Okay, that's what
But I know preeminent too.
I was very confused too because I was like, "Is that not what preeminent means?" Yeah, but yeah, I guess I was confusing.
One more time.
Preeminent with preemptive.
Preeminent mean? I wasn't listening when you said the definition.
Okay, preeminent. So this is now the word of the day. Preeminent, everybody. Preeminent is having paramount rank, dignity, or importance. Outstanding, supreme.
Right, got it. All right, yeah.
So that makes sense of the new class of Tony Hawk's pro skaters.
Right, they would be the preeminent skaters, right? The big dog skaters.
The big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool new word we just learned.
I know.
This is awesome. We're learning together on this episode. I'm glad
we knew that word, right? That's not like a crazy word.
Preeminent?
Did I think it was preemptive? Wait, I can't say it now. You know what I'm saying.
Preemptive.
That's
Tomorrow's hosts are Greg Miller and Gary Whitta. And of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live. Oh no, I lost it. Each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. You would have thought that I'd have remembered that by now. I thought I could go off script. I went off script and I totally forgot what link it is. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the server level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, game daily.